And by the way, I'm telling you my story, but in the story I'm telling you, I'm going to embed lessons. So that's just part of, I'm not going to tell you information just to tell you about myself. I'm telling it because there's lessons and what I want you to walk away with. So here we go. I was born, so you saw my last name. Nobody calls me by my last name because that's just crazy. So everybody calls me Miss S. Don't call me Miss Lana. I'm 365. I don't do that. That's old fashioned of me. So Miss S is fine because nobody can pronounce the last name. But I was born in what used to be Soviet Union. So I was not Russian or Ukrainian. I was Soviet Union. So we were the evil empire. And I was actually born in Kiev, which, you know, now is a war zone. And then we traveled. When we left the Soviet Union, I lived in Austria, I lived in Italy, and then we came to the United States. Now, the reason I'm telling you that part of the story is because, as I just said, starting today, you're what? Very good. You're an interior designer. I like that. See, this is going to be a good class. They're participating. So as starting today, you're an interior designer. The reason I say that is because everything you have done up until this point, literally everything you have lived, has instructed your brain, your eyes, your experiences have instructed you to be a best interior designer going forward. So for example, the fact that I lived in all these different countries instructed as to how I see interior design, what I like, what I don't like. Does that make sense? Any jobs you guys have, and as I go through my career, informs you. So I do not want to hear somebody say, I was just a stay-at-home mom. There's no just. You're a CEO of that company, and you've learned a lot, and you can help if we're going to go see a client who is a stay-at-home mom or has children. You are much better informed than somebody who's 18. Some of you are my 18-year-olds in here, who has not been a mom. So I don't want to hear just anything, because your life experience is going to help you to be a really good designer and hone you for a while into the right niche. Does that make sense? Yes, Miss Sasson, makes sense there. See, you can answer even that. Okay, so we lived in all these different countries, and then we ended up in the United States. And in the United States, I first ended up in Northern Virginia area, Maryland, Northern Virginia area. Went to school there, and then had to decide. My parents, that was actually not a decision, truly. My parents were like, you're going to college and you're gonna get A's because that's you. And of course, at that point, I was like, yes, I'm going to college. Yes, I have to have A's, but I also want to have fun. And so how can I major in something that I can get easy A's and yet have fun? So I thought, I'll major in Russian, right? Because I speak Russian. Americans do not speak Russian. So, really easy A. So I started majoring in that, and about a year and a half into it, I was like, okay, this is great. This is working, problem solving, working here, but what am I gonna do when I graduate? Like, what are jobs available for somebody who's speaking Russian? And so I quickly realized this is a bad idea. So I had to rethink and say to myself, what do I really want to do? Instead of, do I just want to have fun and get A's? And so I realized that when I was a little girl, the way that I learned, the way I process information is I would have my stuffed animals and I would sit them up and I would go, okay, 2 + 2 = 4. Do you understand? See how I'm good at that? Because I've been practicing since I was little. And I used to realize, and I realized that I really liked it. So I was really happy about doing that. And so I double majored, and I got a degree at the same time as Russian, and I got a degree in education. And while I was doing that, as you can tell, I'm not very shy. I'm a little bit over the top, and I make friends. And so one of my professors came to me before even the school was over, before I even graduated, one of my Russian professors, and he said, hey, I'm trying to expand the program in Virginia Beach public school systems to include Russian in every school. Would you want a job? You want to offer me a job before I even graduate? Doing exactly what I want to do? Yeah, sign me up. So I already had a job. I had to go interview, but it turned out he was on the board of directors for the school system. So the reason I'm telling you the story, and there's a little bit more to that, the reason I'm telling you the story is because I didn't realize what I was actually doing by being friendly and helping my professors and getting engaged with students and everybody else. I was essentially networking. I didn't know that that was what it was called, but that's exactly what I was doing. So I ended up getting a job just by being helpful while I was in school, which is exactly how Melody, who is videotaping, got some of her jobs, is because she was helpful to me when she was in class. I always pick somebody in class to be my secretary because I'm not the most organized human being. I am, by the way, the other homework, and it's also on the website, is you're gonna go and take 16 personalities. Have you guys ever heard of it? It's a Myers-Briggs test, and it's free, and it's fun, and you're gonna take it, and it's gonna give you 5 things, but all I care about is the first 4 letters. And you're gonna be either an introvert or an extrovert, and it doesn't mean how you present, it's actually where you get your energy from. You're either gonna be an intuitive or sensory, so it's gonna be either an N or an S, and then you will either be a feeler, as Melody is, or a thinker, like I am. And the last one is the one that I'm bringing up for the reason about me being not as organized, is you're gonna be either a P or a J. And I love my INFJs because I need their help all the time because I'm a very big P. And organization is not always my strength suit. I can carry a lot of projects, but somebody needs to help me to put them all together. And so it's fabulous to have such great partnerships that I have.